The phone vibrated between us on the table, not loud, not urgent, just enough to be noticed. He didn't reach for it. That was the first mistake. I kept my eyes on my coffee, watched the steam curl and die while my peripheral vision counted seconds. 5, 10, 15. The screen lit up again. Same name, same quiet insistence. He smiled at me like nothing was wrong, like he hadn't just hesitated. "Sorry," he said, finally flipping the phone face down. Too casually, too rehearsed. I nodded. Inside, something shifted. It wasn't jealousy, it wasn't fear. It was recognition, the kind that comes when a pattern clicks into place. His presence had always felt innocent, soft-spoken, unthreatening, the kind of man people trusted without asking why. But innocence doesn't flinch, and he flinched. I felt it settle in my chest, heavy and cold. The moment where you realize you've been living in a room with a hidden door and it's been opening at night while you slept. I smiled back at him. That was my first lie. I didn't accuse him. I didn't ask questions. I observed. That's how it always starts. Not with proof, but with discomfort. A pause where there shouldn't be one. A laugh that arrives half a second late. Stories that circle the same details but never land. He started saying my name more often, as if repetition could reinforce reality. I noticed the way he positioned his phone now, always screen down, always within reach. I noticed how he showered longer, how he came home carrying a smell that wasn't soap and wasn't guilt either. Something sweeter, familiar to someone else. Still, I told myself nothing. Denial is a quiet skill. You don't even realize you're practicing it until you're very good. But then came the slip, a name he'd never mentioned before, said once, quickly, like a typo in a sentence spoken aloud. I repeated it back to him. He corrected me, too fast. That night, lying beside him, I counted his breaths. They were uneven, controlled, like someone pretending to sleep while listening for movement in the dark. I understood then. This wasn't a momentary betrayal. It was a structure, a second life built carefully around mine, and I had been walking through it, trusting the walls. I became quieter, not withdrawn, strategic. I let him believe I was comfortable, predictable, still fooled. While he slept, I memorized the rhythm of his notifications. While he talked, I studied his language, the way certain topics made him tighten, the way others relaxed him too much. I never touched his phone. That would have been crude. Instead, I pulled records, small things, dates, times, patterns that aligned too well with his late meetings and sudden errands. I watched reflections in mirrors, glass doors, windows at night. People reveal themselves when they think they're unseen. I ordered a background check under a false pretense, harmless, clean, no red flags, except one recurring name tied to addresses too close, too frequent. The name again. I waited. Weeks passed, then months. Every day added weight, not doubt. My mind stayed calm while something darker organized itself beneath the surface. I wasn't angry. Anger is inefficient. I was precise. When I finally found the messages, accessed through a shared account he forgot he'd ever connected, I didn't read them all. I didn't need to. One was enough. I miss the version of you she doesn't see. That sentence sat inside me like a locked door. I slept well that night. The report arrived on a Tuesday. I printed it, placed it in a folder, smooth, white, neutral. When he came home, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I asked him to sit with me, like we always did, at the same table where the phone had first betrayed him. I slid the folder across. He didn't open it immediately. That told me everything. When he did, his face collapsed in stages. Confusion, fear, recognition, shame. Each emotion peeled away another layer of the man I thought I knew. "It's not," he started. I held up a hand. Silence landed between us, heavy, final. I asked one question, only one. How long were you planning to let me live in a lie? His mouth opened, closed. His eyes searched my face for permission, mercy, something human. I gave him nothing. I stood, not dramatically, just enough to change the power in the room. I knew before you got careful, I said, calm, almost gentle. I just wanted to see how far you'd go. He looked at me like I'd pulled the ground out from under him. I told him what I'd done, the records, the observations, the patience. I told him I'd already spoken to her, not to confront, but to confirm, that she believed she was the secret that mattered. I let that sink in. Then I handed him a second envelope, legal, clean, prepared weeks ago. I won't expose you, I said. I won't need to. That hurt him more than shouting ever could. I walked past him as he tried to speak, tried to apologize, tried to rewrite history in real time. I didn't look back. Now the apartment is quiet, not empty, clear. I think about how innocence can be an effective disguise, how some people survive by being underestimated, how love, when unexamined, becomes a liability. I don't miss him. I miss the version of myself that didn't have to see this clearly. But clarity is a form